Luxpower website interface, and just going through some of the basic features that we can look at with the system. So we're going to first start off with looking at the central part of the screen, which shows us an overview of the system at this time. So it's a live overview. We're able to see a bunch of different things happening here. The inverter here is at the center of the action because this is what dictates the activity of the system. At the top, we've got the solar panels, and it is showing us the production of solar production as well as the voltage. So in this system here, we have two of the three groups are being used. So we're seeing production of about 2,000 watts on each group. We've got some arrows here that show us the direction of the energy. And so what we're seeing is the vast majority of the energy being generated right now is actually going back to the grid. So we're seeing 3,500 watts going back to the grid and about 700 watts being used at the house at this time. On the left, we've got the battery. Now we're not seeing any energy flow arrows here on the battery because the battery's fully charged. So it's basically just resting right now. And if ever the grid goes down, we will be drawing from the battery. But our battery right now is sort of inactive because it's full and ready to go. If I scroll down, we're going to see a daily view of the system, and that's represented here by some line graphs. Whereas each line has a different color, and it's showing us something different. The top line is our battery state of charge. Now, state of charge is an expression that comes in pretty often in this world, and it's just showing us how full our battery is. So in this case here, our state of charge, or SOC, is at 99%. So our battery's full. And as we can see here, the line is fairly straight, so it hasn't really moved much. It's stayed full because we haven't had any power outages in the last day. The other line we're seeing is a green line, and this is our solar production. So as we can see here, at around 7 in the morning, it starts to go up. And we see here around 9 o'clock, there must have been a cloud that went by. So we got a little bit of a dip, and it peaks at around noon, and then we got good production. And production starts going down sort of early to late afternoon. Right now it's about 4 o'clock, so our production is going down, and it's going to take a bit of a dive between 4 and 5 p.m. So we're also seeing a red line underneath here, and it's showing, it's tracking pretty closely the movements of the green line. And this is because most of our power here is being sent back to the grid. So that's the line representing what we're exporting back to Naturgy. The yellow line, it's got a lot of squigglies in it. Overnight here, I suspect this is a refrigerator that's turning off and on, or maybe the air conditioner. It's turning off and on, and that's why we're seeing this pattern here. And during the day, it's just showing us what the house is consuming in line form. And then we've got the blue line here, which just shows the battery. So the battery went down a little bit, but it's basically stable here. So that shows us the day. Now I'm able to zoom out further, and I can look at the same data, but now it's in a bar graph. And this is daily summary. So we're seeing the 1st of March, 2nd of March, 3rd. So we're seeing a full month view. I can change that to a yearly view if I want. So we've got data for part of February and then March. So it just gives us more of a summary. Going back to the top here, we've got basically general summaries here for the entire system. How much we're feeding back to the grid, how much we're consuming, how much solar we're producing. This is the solar produced today. So it's a sort of a countdown of what we produced today, and so far what we've produced since the installation. Let's go to another screen called Data. So Data gives us a bunch of charts, and it allows us to drill down and look at some specific parameters. This is really important for troubleshooting at our end, but for you as well, you're able to see what's going on. This screen here in particular is divided up into 4 quadrants. The top here, we see everything related to solar production. AC side, this is just related to the grid. We're able to see grid voltage, how much we're drawing from the grid, how much we're sending back to the grid. Allows us to look at that. Up here in the right-hand upper quadrant, we're seeing the battery, so the state of charge, how much we're charging it and discharging it. And then finally in the lower right-hand quadrant, we're able to see what's going on in terms of the backup power facility. So this data here for today, Naturgy hasn't gone down, so it's a straight line. We're not using any battery, but when Naturgy does go down, we'll see some movement on this line. Chart compare allows us to choose different things that we want to track. So we can look at voltage of the different solar panel arrays. We can look at production. And I'm able to look at these for different days. So we're able to track down any issues that might occur. And then try to find out the problems. Energy, again, we've got more data breakdowns. Really, this is really some more granular data related to the system. Event history, it shows us events that the system has recorded. So every time the grid goes down, it's recorded as an event. So we can find out grid outages, time and date. And if there's any issues, if the inverter has a problem or a fault, we will see it on the on this screen here. So I think that wraps up sort of the highlights. There's a lot more data that we can look further down into, but this really gives you the most relevant data for the system.